as a tax authority can impose the tax on the value of supply. What is the meaning of supply? What is the definition of supply? And also why supply is important to calculate the tax. The actual price of the goods is the sole consideration for the supply. Hello my dear students, I am your AJ sir, faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram First Grade College, a Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today's session is about indirect tax, 6th Sem BCom, Unit 1. In Unit 1, the topic is value of taxable supply. It is very important chapter and also problem oriented chapter. Let's go to the first slide. Learning objectives. So what are the objectives or what are the points you're going to study in this chapter and what are the output of this chapter for you? See, to understand the concept of supply. So you'll understand what is the meaning of supply, what is the definition of supply, and also why supply is important to calculate the tax or to levy the tax on supply. To understand the concept of transaction value. What is the meaning of transaction value? So what are the condition of transaction value? To consider the supply or amount as a transaction value, what are the condition applicable? Next one, to compute the value of taxable supply under GST Act. This is problem. So we are going to calculate the value of supply under the GST Act, and also to determine the GST leviable, to determine the tax, how much tax or on what basis we should impose the tax under the value of supply and GST Act. We are going to study, these are the points we are going to study in this chapter. Let's go to the next slide. Introduction. GST is leviable at the specific percentage of the value of supply of goods or services or both. So we can impose the tax. As a tax authority can impose the tax on the value of supply. So for example, if I send a goods, for example, I am sending a TV to a customer. So on what basis I can impose the tax or I can levy the tax? I have to understand the what is the actual price or actual supply price of the goods or services. Then only tax authority can levy the tax or can impose the tax. Next one, to become necessary to compute the value of which tax is to be paid. So we have to understand the value of the goods properly. Then only we can impose the tax. Next one, to determine the value of supply of goods or services or both shall be made in accordance with the provisions under the section 15 of the CGST, Central Goods and Service Tax Act, and CGST rules is there. So we have to determine the value of supply according to rules and regulation which is given under the CGST Act. Next one, the value of supply of goods or service or both shall be the transaction value. Now, what do you mean by transaction value? The actual value of supply. For example, book is a 100 rupees. The worth of the books is 100 rupees. So, the cost of the goods should be considered as a value of transaction or transaction value. What is the actual cost of the goods and what is the actual price we are sending the goods to customer or to other dealer? That amount should be considered as a transaction value. So understanding the transaction value is very important. For example, I am sending 10 TV. Each TV costs rupees 10,000 rupees. So I am sending 10 TV. Total is 1 lakh rupees. This is the transaction value. So total transaction value is 1 lakh rupees or total value of supply is 1 lakh rupees. On this amount we can levy the tax. Next one, the transaction value is the price actually paid or payable for the supply of goods or service or both where the supplier and the recipient are not related, and the price is the sole consideration for the supply. What do you mean by that? The transaction value is the price actually paid or payable for the supply, means the whatever the actual amount. For example, this is the 1 lakh rupees, the actual amount payable or paid. It may payable means in future, paid means already amount received. That amount should be considered as the transaction value or value of supply. And what do you mean by not, the person should be not related person? There is a conditions. What is the meaning of the not related person or person should be not related? Means a person should not be a same business. For example, I am the business, I am sending the goods to my branch only, then it is called as related person. He should be not a related person. Related person, it may be institution or it may be individual or same business or person related to same business. This is considered as a related person. He should not be a related person. The recipient are not the related person. For example, if I send the goods to my own branch, then it is not considered as a supply. If I send the goods to my customer, then it is called as supply. Next one, as per the section 15, the following condition shall be fulfilled for accepting transaction value of the supply of goods or service or both. So these are all there are some conditions. Let's see what are the conditions. The price actually paid or payable in future date. So value of supply, for example, 1 lakh rupees worth of goods I am sending. I may receive today or I may receive in the next month, but you have to pay the tax on this value. This amount will the tax authority consider the 1 lakh rupees. You may receive or not. You may receive in future, but we have to levy the tax on this amount. Next one, the supplier and the recipient of the supply should not be a related person. What do you mean by related person? Already explained. He should not be the same business. The related person, for example, if A is sending goods to B, if A is sending goods to or supplying goods to B, a B should not be a related person. A B should not be a related person means what? A B should not be related to A. He should not be employee of the A company. He should not be partner of the A company. He should not be related in any mean. He should be a customer only. He should be ultimate customer only. Then only we will consider it as a supply. Otherwise, if you are sending a goods to your own branch, if you are sending a goods to other partner or other owner, that person should not be considered as a supply. This transaction should not be considered as a supply. Then we cannot impose the tax to the goods sending to our own business or our own person. Next one, the price is the sole consideration for the supply. The actual price of the goods is the sole consideration for the supply. If you want to consider the amount as a supply, the actual price, for example, if it is a 10,000 rupees as the actual price of the goods, this is the sole consideration. We will consider the amount as a 10,000 rupees as a supply. Okay, let's see what are the rules and regulations says about to consider a person as a related person or not related person. For the purpose of section 15 of CGST Act, the person, both supplier and recipient, shall be deemed to be related persons if they are. If these conditions satisfy, then we will consider that person as a related person. Related person means person is it may be institution or it may be any individual. So if we send the goods to related person, then that transaction will not be considered as a supply. For example, if we are sending to our own institution, our own partner, our own director, our own employee, if we are sending goods to them, then that transaction will be not considered for the valuation of supply. If you are sending goods for the consideration to other person or to customer or to business person not related to your business, then it is called as supply. Officer or a directors of one another's business. That means if we are sending goods to or if we are supplying goods to our own officer or our own director, then he is considered as a related person. Next one, legally recognized partners in the business. If we are sending goods to our own partner of the business, then also we will consider him as a related person. Next one, employer and employees. For example, if I sending or if I supplying goods to our own employees, then that employee is also considered as a related person. Next one, directly or indirectly owns, controls or holds more than 25% of shares in the respective companies or business. If any person controls more than 25% of the shares of the business, if we are sending or if we are supplying goods to him, then also we will consider that person as a related person, and that transaction will not be accepted in the value of supply. Next one, directly or indirectly controls each other. For example, if a person indirectly controlling the business, he should not be related in any form. He should not be related in any part of the business. Then if he controls our business, or if he indirectly controls or directly controls, then that transaction cannot be considered as a supply. Next one, directly or indirectly controlled by the third person. For example, he will not directly control the business. He will tell the other person to control the business as indirectly. Then also we can consider as a related person. Next one, if he tells some other groups or other 1 or 3 members to control the business, and if we are sending the goods to those groups, then also we'll consider as a person, related person. Next one, members of the same person. What already I explained what is the meaning of person. Person is it may be individual, business or institution. So if they are, for example, if the business to whom we are sending the goods, they are related to our own business. There may be partners, they may be our shareholders, they may be related to in any other form to our business, then also we will consider him as a related person. Then if you send goods to related person, the transaction cannot be considered as a supply. Next one, consideration in relation to supply includes, if you want to consider any amount as a consideration or a payment, that includes any payment made in respect of the supply of goods or service or both. For example, I am sending or I am supplying one refrigerator to customer. If he pays any payment, it may be cash payment or it may be check. Any payment will be considered as a consideration. On that consideration, I am sending a goods to my customers. Though then that amount should be considered as a value of supply and also value of transaction. Next one, the monetary value of any act or forbearance respect of the supply of goods or services or both. What do you mean by that? See, you may receive the cash or you may receive in kind also. For example, I am the lawyer. I will purchase a product from a business or from a showroom. The worth of the transaction, the worth of the supply is 1 lakh rupees. But as a lawyer, I will not pay the 1 lakh rupees in the form of cash. I will help that particular business person to whom supply the goods to me. I will pay this 1 lakh rupees as in helping them. In helping, for example, he is having one case pending in court. I will take up that case and instead of receiving the amount 1 lakh rupees, I will argue for him in the court. For that, I will receive a TV. Even though in that case, even though you are not receiving the cash, in that case also the amount, this 1 lakh rupees is considered as a value of supply. So for example, I am a engineer. Okay, I will receive or I will get a car from a car showroom. That transaction is considered as a supply. But instead of paying 10 lakh rupees to him, what I will do? I will build a house for that particular person. Then for that, in this situation also, that amount will be considered as value of supply, even though you receive the money or not. Instead of paying the money, you may pay in the form of any other kind or any other service. In that situation also, we will consider that act will be considered as consideration. Consideration means payment, but excludes any subsidy given by the government. In this consideration, if there is any subsidy by the government, that will be excluded or that will be deducted from the value of supply. Or deposit, whether refundable or not. Any deposits from the government also or any from authority, that amount also will be deducted from the value of supply. Next one, my dear students, in the next session, we are going to discuss on inclusion in the value of supply. What are the items we can include in the value of supply, and exclusion of the value of supply, and what are the items we can exclude from the value of supply, and also valuation of supply when the value is not ascertainable. For example, if a TV is 1 lakh rupees, in that situation, I will receive 50% in the cash and another 50% in the kind. In that situation, we cannot consider in what basis we have to consider the value of supply. In that situation, how to calculate the value of supply. That also we'll discuss in the next slide or next session. Till then, thank you so much. Thank you for watching the video. Let's meet in the next session.